Here we are. Greetings and blessings, my people. I know that I am pure spirit and that I always have been and always will be. And there is inside of me a place of confidence, solitude, tranquility, and grace, where all things are known, accepted, and understood. I am a part of the universal mind. And if that is true, then a part must be the same in kind and in nature as the whole. And if this is true, then I am indeed in this moment a living and breathing embodiment of the cosmos, as you are in this moment a living and breathing embodiment of the cosmos. This universal mind knows the answer to all of our problems. And even now, as mysteries are being revealed, it becomes more about seeking the question and not seeking the answer. We do not have to struggle, worry, or even strive for the answers, for when the time comes, the answers will be there. Through the universal law of attraction and the law of mind in action, that which is meant for me will come to me. That which is meant for you will come to you, and no one can keep it from you. I bear witness to the hand of the divine intelligence all around me. And thus there is an ever increasing awareness, a higher state of being, a universal connectedness, and a heightened sense of spiritual insight. We can see this hand of the divine in the radiance of the sun, the brilliance of the moon, the magnanimity of the stars in plants, minerals, and protoplasts. And that the divine intelligence which created all of these things is in me, around me, and has been made available to me at all times. I know that my body is a manifestation of pure spirit, and that spirit is perfect, flawless, and without defect. Therefore, my body is perfect, flawless, and without defect as well. I am confident. I am whole. I am loved and loving. And I am in harmonious communion with the all of life. Regardless of the obstacle or undesirable circumstance or condition which may come my way, I refuse to accept it as nothing but an illusion, as there can be no obstacle or undesirable circumstance or situation in the mind of the all, which is divine intelligence, which is in me, around me, and serves me in all ways, always. Greetings and blessings, my people. I am Halim Ali. Welcome to our fourth installment of the 4 stages of consciousness. And we're doing it a little bit different this evening. When we began these mindfulness sessions a few months ago, we didn't think that we would still be here today or still be doing this. However, we have been consistent. We did take last week off for self-care. Each year, we fast for 30 days. And we are on our 22nd or 23rd day of fasting today. And last weekend, I had a profound experience with a young man who showed me a tattoo on his arm. This is a young man I work with. He showed me a tattoo on his arm and he pointed to the letters of the tattoo and he said to me, "This is where I was going to cut myself on my next suicide attempt." And I asked the young man, "Well, when was your last suicide attempt?" And he told me it was a couple months ago. He and his best friend had agreed to kill themselves at a particular hour. She succeeded, but he failed. And that story and that experience shook me to my core. And this is why we were unable to provide the mindfulness session last week, because it is never my intention to bring anything but positive energy into this space. So, the week prior to last week, we looked at the channel consciousness, the through me consciousness. Prior to that week, we looked at the manifester consciousness, the by me consciousness. The week prior to that, we looked at the victim consciousness, the to me consciousness, right? So we're dealing with the 4 stages or the 4 phases or the 4 levels of consciousness. And the victim consciousness is where a lot of us get stuck. The to me consciousness. Something is happening to me outside of my power. Something external outside of myself is controlling or creating my reality. That is the victim consciousness. And the second stage we looked at, the by me consciousness. The by me consciousness says, okay, maybe I do have a say so in my life. Maybe I do have more control over my existence than I thought. And then the third stage, the third level, the third stage of consciousness, the channel consciousness, the through me. This is when you have begun to dictate your own destiny. You have become the captain of your destiny and the master of your fate. And you know that you are a vessel. This is the vessel consciousness, right? The through me consciousness, right? And as we look at the second stage, the manifester consciousness and the through me consciousness, in the manifester stage, this is a very masculine area. This is a stage where you are making it happen. You see it in your mind and then you create it in your reality, right? That third level is you're not just being present or you're not just making it happen, but you're making it welcome. And that's the power of the channel consciousness. Yet, there is another level, my beloved people. There is our last and final stage, which we are here to discuss today. And this is the being consciousness, the as me consciousness, where you become a conduit where you become a light. Welcome to stage 4, the Asthmy consciousness, or the being consciousness, where we will begin to realize that as opposed to life simply happening to us or to you, you are life. As opposed to life just happening to you, you are life. I am life. Life is me and life is you. Our posture in this stage is being at one with the all of creation. The experience here is peace and spaciousness. The realization of the divine or the mystic mind in you, or the divine or the mystic mind in me. This is the as me consciousness. Our beliefs in this space. And one thing before I state the beliefs in this space, we want to understand that on the 3-step ladder of salvation, belief is but the first step. And this is what man thinks, perhaps, is the truth. And the second stage, the second step on this 3-step ladder of salvation is faith. And faith can be likened unto the channel consciousness. And this is what man knows to be the truth. But the third step on the 3-step ladder of salvation is fruition. This, ladies and gentlemen, is where we are in this discussion today. The fruition stage, or the as me consciousness, interchangeable, the same thing. So when we talk about the beliefs, I would like to describe our beliefs in this stage as a level of knowingness, right? There is only oneness. There are no problems and no one to solve them. So in stage 4, there are no problems. No problems exist, and there is no one to solve them, because we are operating in a space of surety along with omnipotence, with surety along with omnipresence, with surety along with omniscience. Omnipotence, one power. Omnipresence, one presence. Omniscience, one science. And the key question here, when we seek the question and not the answer, what is the question we ask here? In this stage, there are no more questions. Only knowingness. In this stage, questions are for the unsure. This is a stage and a space of surety, the surety of the omnipotence of the oneness of that divine mind. So in this stage, in this space, there aren't any questions. The benefits of this stage is the experience of oneness and non-duality. We're not dealing with duality and dualism in this stage. We also have the opportunity to experience unlimited freedom and peace. From stage 3, the practitioner's attention is directed at dissolving the egotistic sense of self and continues meditating, or continues in a state of mindfulness, not out of necessity or discipline, but out of the love for the practice, out of the joy, out of the bliss, and also to set an example for others. And as we have all been placed here in this realm, in this space, to have an existential encounter with the divine mind of the universe. This is the Asthmy consciousness, right? And sometimes when we are in the Asthmy, or we are in the midst of learning a powerful lesson, it may feel like we're suffering. But in those moments, the soul is being strengthened, renewed, and refined. It is the ego that is suffering in that space. But I once read, a bad day for the ego is a good day for the soul. Let me say that again. A bad day for the ego is a good day for the soul. So be mindful that within the last 4 sessions, we have been in preparation for this last stage of awareness, the Asthmy consciousness. And we have 8 life areas where we'll look at the Asthmy. When it comes to your money, in the Asthmy consciousness, it is just another form of energy. It is given and received with freedom, joy, and liberation. In the Asthmy consciousness, the being consciousness, the unity consciousness, how do we view time? We view ourselves as the source of time. Time is but an illusion. Time never was when man was not. So if at any time time began, a time would come when it would end. So we know time is a man-made construct, especially in this stage, in this level of consciousness. Time is but an illusion, like all other illusions. How do we view our happiness in the Asthmy consciousness? Happiness is but another state. It is just one of many vibrations passing through our experience. Happiness is but another state, right? How do we view our discipline in the Asthmy consciousness? We are not looking for discipline because it becomes a way of life. Our thinking habits and our thinking patterns become a way of life. How about our purpose in the Asthmy consciousness? How about our purpose? We're talking about 8 aspects of our lives where we are looking through the lens of the Asthmy consciousness. How about our purpose? What purpose? Being and purpose are the same. So it is impossible to be out of your purpose. Purpose doesn't no longer exist between 9 and 5 or Monday through Friday. Those things are but illusions in the Asthmy consciousness. They are but illusions. What purpose? I am life. I am my purpose. You become the song you sing and the message you bring. You become the song you sing and the message you bring. How about leadership? In the Asthmy consciousness, what place does leadership have in the being consciousness? There is no one to lead because there is nowhere to lead to. One of my mentors once told me life is a journey not a destination. So when we're in the victim consciousness and we have this fixed mind state, leadership, it's a role. You either have it or you don't. It comes with have tos. You have to do this. It comes with rules and parameters, burden and incompetent followers. Come on. But in the as me consciousness, there is no one to lead because there is nowhere to lead to. We're on a journey together. What about our preferences? What about our preference? In the as me consciousness, our preference arises without attachment. We are attached, but yet detached. As it says, the sage, by doing nothing, does all things. The sage, the Hierophant, by doing nothing, does all things. So the preferences arise without attachment, and it is based only on the present. There is no past or future in the as me stage of consciousness. There is no past or future. It is only now. It is only here. And it is more than just present. It is presence. It's not just present. It is presence. Divine presence. How about parenting in the as me consciousness? Who is the parent and who is the child? I learn more from my daughter than she may learn from me. But in the to me consciousness, it's my responsibility. I have to teach you. I have to take care of you. I have to do this. My children are vessels. I put things in, data, values, skills, right? But in the as me, they become our teachers. And we reciprocate spiritual and divine wisdom and energy. Similar to a light bulb, we are all conduits here, right? We are all beacons of light. But in this stage of the as me consciousness, we are similar to a light bulb, which has a greater capacity and a greater wattage, which then allows you to carry more electricity. This increases your wattage. When we increase our vibrational frequency, we have the capacity to be more electric. So this 4 stages of consciousness is allowing us to carry more of the current of spirit. The current of spirit becomes our wattage. And the higher we increase our vibrational frequency, the less attached we are to outcomes, the less attached we are to worry, to fear, to doubt, to lack, to limitation, to time. We begin to realize that all these things are but illusions. And we did start a little late today. However, we are going to take this moment to connect with the breath for a moment and just reflect on the state of being that you're currently in. And wherever you are, sit comfortably. And we are going to just take a moment to reflect on our state of being. What stage of consciousness are you in? And it's non-linear. You may be in a victim stage consciousness in one area of your life, and in a being stage in another area of your life. This is not a space where we criticize or judge ourselves. Allow yourself to just be and to connect with your current state of being. And let's breathe in through the nose and release through the mouth. And let us take another moment and another breath to breathe in through the nose and release through the mouth. And let's do a couple of breaths on our own, allowing ourselves to be weightless, allowing ourselves to be in this unity consciousness at one with the divine mind, understanding that when we are connected to this divinity, which we are always connected to this divinity, there is no pain, no suffering, no struggling, no sickness, and no illness. Only peace, harmony, prosperity, love, and abundance. So let us breathe those things in and let us release. My beautiful people, my name is Halim Ali, and this has been Tuesday Night Mindfulness. I appreciate your time and your willingness to be here. We will see you next Tuesday, and I promise I will be on time. No technical difficulties. Peace and love.